Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your competition is no longer the colleague sitting two desks away. It's not even the rival company across town. Your real competition is a faceless algorithm written by someone you'll never meet, running on a server halfway across the world. That may sound dramatic, but it's not science fiction. It's already happening. History has shown us that industries can collapse almost overnight. Remember when Alibaba rose to prominence in China? Millions of small retailers who believed they had steady, unshakable businesses vanished like sandcastles in the tide. And while Jack Ma became the poster child of that change, the real power was behind him. Capital from investors like Masayoshi Son, who quietly turned other people's creativity into his own empire by betting on the right technology at the right time. Today we're seeing that same wave form again, but this time it's not e-commerce, it's artificial intelligence. Here's the hard truth. Over the next 5 years, millions of people will see their jobs either reduced or erased by machines that can work faster, cheaper, and without coffee breaks. Taxi drivers, retail clerks, even bank tellers. Their roles are already being chipped away. If you've been clinging to the belief that your role is safe, I want you to picture this. A self-driving car doesn't get tired. An AI accountant doesn't make arithmetic mistakes. An automated retail store doesn't need lunch breaks or overtime pay. Does that mean we're doomed? No. But it does mean that the way we think about opportunity and survival must change. Think back to the Industrial Revolution. Machines didn't just destroy jobs, they created entirely new industries. The problem wasn't the machines. The problem was whether people adapted or not. The same is true now. If you stand still, AI will make you irrelevant. If you move with it, you can ride the wave instead of being crushed by it. Let me give you an example from everyday life. Think about navigation apps. A decade ago, we all relied on memory, maps, or maybe a friend's directions scribbled on paper. Now, most of us don't think twice before handing over that decision-making to an app. Step by step, the software has earned our trust until we reach the point where it doesn't just guide us, it quietly nudges our choices, suggesting restaurants, recommending stores, shaping where we spend our money. That's the game AI is playing. It's not just replacing tasks, it's slowly shaping behavior. And if businesses understand this, they can reach customers in ways that feel less like advertising and more like destiny. This is where the opportunity lies. But before we get into where the next fortunes will be made, we need to clear up one big misconception. AI doesn't scare investors because it's intelligent. It scares them or excites them because when combined with big data, it can influence decisions at scale. That's not a small edge. That's control over the choices of millions. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, how many of your daily decisions are already outsourced? Do you still pick restaurants based on exploration, or do you scroll ratings until the algorithm suggests a perfect match? Do you decide what movie to watch, or does Netflix help you? Every moment you hand over a choice, you're training AI to know you better. And here's the key insight. If you want to build wealth in this new era, you have to position yourself where AI meets human desire. The businesses of the future won't just sell products. They'll sell personalized answers to questions we barely realized we were asking. Think about the industries that once felt untouchable. Transportation used to be one of them. For decades, people believed driving was a skill too human to automate. Yet today, self-driving cars are not just prototypes. They're tested on highways, they park themselves, and they update overnight. A machine doesn't get tired, it doesn't argue with passengers, and it can operate around the clock. That means millions of taxi drivers, truck drivers, and delivery workers are standing at the edge of a cliff they cannot see. Retail is another. A decade ago, Amazon opened cashier-free stores where customers could pick up what they needed and walk out. The sensors and algorithms would charge them automatically. No lines, no cashiers, no wasted minutes. It felt like magic, but it was simply automation made visible. That single model threatens millions of store clerks worldwide. Add delivery drones and autonomous vehicles, and you see a future where buying and receiving goods requires almost no human involvement at all. Banking is shifting too. Walk into a branch today and it still looks busy. But look closer. Transactions that once required tellers, deposits, withdrawals, transfers, now happen on apps. In countries like China, people go weeks without touching cash. Salaries, bills, shopping, even loans are handled digitally. And when problems arise, customers don't queue for service. They chat with AI assistants that are already good enough to replace an entry-level banker. And then there's manufacturing. Robots on factory floors don't complain, don't call in sick, and they work with precision that no human can match. Foxconn, one of Apple's main suppliers, already replaced tens of thousands of workers with machines. The trend is only accelerating. Where previous generations could find security in factories, the next generation will find those gates locked unless they come armed with coding skills and the ability to manage machines instead of being replaced by them. Here's the pattern. Any job that relies on repetition, predictability, or decisions that can be made in seconds is at risk. If a choice can be automated, it will be. But don't let that paralyze you. Fear creates inaction, and inaction is the real danger. The bigger question is what remains safe. Jobs that require creativity, roles that depend on empathy, professions where human trust is the currency. Machines can replicate calculations, but they cannot generate genuine imagination. They can mimic emotions, but they cannot feel them. They can suggest, but they cannot inspire. That's the human edge. Think about art. Think about storytelling. Think about high-end consulting, therapy, teaching, leadership. These aren't safe because they are romantic. They're safe because they rely on connection, on shared meaning, on the messy, unpredictable fabric of human life. The opportunity is not just to protect yourself. The opportunity is to create. Imagine building businesses that use AI as a tool but still rely on human qualities machines can't touch. Picture an architect who uses AI to model thousands of blueprints but adds the final creative spark that makes a design unique. Or a teacher who uses AI to customize lessons but brings the warmth and encouragement that students actually need. AI doesn't end humanity's role. It ends the boring parts of it. Preparing for this shift isn't about waiting for governments or corporations to protect you. History shows us that institutions react slowly, while technology moves fast. The safety net arrives long after the fall. The only real protection comes from anticipating change before it arrives. The first step is awareness. Too many people live like frogs in warm water, not realizing it's heating up. They dismiss AI as hype, as something that won't reach their job or their town. That's the same denial factory workers had when machines first appeared, or horse carriage drivers when the automobile rolled in. Awareness is not fear, it's clarity. The second step is skills. Ask yourself, does my work depend on repetition or creativity? Do I bring human judgment to the table, or am I mostly following rules that a machine could follow faster? If the answer leans toward rules, it's time to reskill. That doesn't mean everyone must become a coder. It means finding ways to combine human strengths, creativity, empathy, storytelling, leadership with the analytical power of machines. For example, digital marketing is already saturated with AI tools, but the campaigns that stand out are still the ones infused with human insight. A machine can analyze what people click. A human can tell a story that makes them care. In healthcare, AI can scan images faster than radiologists, but patients still need doctors who can listen to fear, explain outcomes, and guide them with compassion. The third step is ownership. If you only sell your time, you will always compete with machines that can work cheaper. But if you own assets, whether they are digital, financial, or creative, you put yourself on the side that benefits from automation instead of being replaced by it. Assets can mean a rental property, they can mean a YouTube channel, they can mean software you create once and sell 1,000 times. What matters is that the work compounds without your constant presence. There's a deeper layer too. AI isn't just about replacing jobs, it's about shaping desires. Algorithms influence what people buy, how they travel, even who they date. If you want to build wealth, position yourself where those invisible levers of choice are moving. Businesses that anticipate decisions instead of waiting for them will dominate the next decade. Think about it this way. In past revolutions, wealth flowed to those who controlled physical resources. Land, factories, oil. In this revolution, wealth will flow to those who control attention and trust. If AI nudges people toward a product, the product with the most trust will win. That's why building a personal brand or aligning with companies that embody authenticity is not vanity. It's survival. So ask yourself not only how to keep your job, but how to grow your influence. The ability to reach people, to connect with them, to make them believe in you, that is the moat machines cannot cross. The strategy for surviving this wave starts with a shift in mindset. Stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an investor. Employees trade hours for money. Investors trade insight for ownership. When machines start replacing hours, ownership is what keeps the income flowing. One strategy is to identify industries where automation creates abundance rather than scarcity. For example, self-driving cars may eliminate driving jobs, but they will also slash logistics costs. That means e-commerce companies, delivery services, and supply chain businesses could explode in scale. The winners won't be the drivers. The winners will be those who own the platforms that coordinate the drivers who no longer exist. Another strategy is to ride the wave of personalization. AI thrives on tailoring products to individuals. Businesses that anticipate customer needs before customers even articulate them will dominate. Picture a clothing company that knows your size, your favorite colors, and your style preferences before you browse. You don't shop, you simply receive suggestions so accurate they feel inevitable. Whoever builds that pipeline wins. A third strategy is education. Not the formal kind with degrees that take years, but fast, flexible education that adapts with technology. Every person should think of themselves as a student for life. Not studying means falling behind. Imagine two workers in the same factory. One treats the robot as a threat. The other treats it as a tutor, learning how it works, then moving into a role, maintaining or improving it. One is replaced, the other advances. And then there's creativity. Machines can compose music and paint pictures, but they cannot tell stories that come from lived human experience. They cannot describe heartbreak, joy, or resilience in ways that resonate with other humans. If you build a life around creative work, you build something AI cannot replicate. Finally, consider resilience. Governments and companies may fail to provide safety nets. History has shown that economic revolutions always leave people behind. But individuals who adapt early don't just survive, they thrive. The goal is not to resist change, but to position yourself where change creates opportunity. The truth is simple. AI is not coming. It's here. The question is whether you allow it to shape your life from the outside or whether you learn to shape it for yourself. Those who wait will wake up one day to find their careers outdated, their skills devalued, and their security gone. Those who move now will look back at this moment as the turning point where they stopped fearing the future and started building it. If this video gave you clarity, share it with someone you care about. Click like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment about what part hit you the hardest. Your words might inspire someone else who is quietly searching for answers. I wish you luck as you prepare for the years ahead. And if you want to keep sharpening your mindset, feel free to explore the other videos on this channel. Each one is designed to help you build the skills, the confidence, and the financial freedom to not just survive change, but to thrive in it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.